Welcome, artists and art fans. Thank you guys for tuning into the only spot where we talk to all these amazing artists and we talk about their trade tools and tips. We all know that they walk the walk, so let's hear them talk the talk. There he is, man of the hour. I'm your host, Zim Zimma. This is episode 36. In episode 36, today's guest is all the way from the East Coast. A fan of comics, music, and guitar. Let's have a warm welcome to Shawn Wagner, aka Shawn Draws. Shawn_Draws_. Go ahead with the man, the myth, the legend himself. Bruce 13, thank you. Representing right here. You guys don't know, you get your Bruce 13 pins.
Hey man, what's up?
Success. Here we go.
There we go.
Awesome, brother.
You can hear me all right?
Spot on. Can you hear me all right?
Yep, everything's good.
Cool. So first off, thanks again, Shawn, for giving us your time. We had some technical difficulties, but we're here.
Yep, we're good.
Cool.
Yeah, I was having trouble earlier talking to my daughter on the phone. I don't know what was going on.
Yeah.
Got it straightened out now.
No, that's cool, man. At least we're here. We're good. Everyone's happy. How's your day been today, man?
Oh, pretty good. Just trying to relax and rest a little.
There you go. How's your quarantine? Surviving it?
Yeah. I got to work myself, but I work in a grocery warehouse, so I still got to go to work.
Yeah, man. You and I both.
Do you? Okay.
Yeah.
It's funny. Almost everyone on my blog is like off, but me and my wife.
Oh wow.
But yeah, she's in nursing, so she's on the front line there.
Yeah, it's funny you say that. My wife as well works in the medical field, nursing. So
yeah.
God
bless her. That's something I couldn't do.
Same here, man. So shout out to all the nurses and people out in the medical field right now. But that's besides the point, man. We're here to talk some art, bro, and get to know you a little bit better, brother.
Okay.
Cool, man. So let's start from the beginning, Shawn, man. How did you get into art, man? What was your first introduction to either art or comics, man? Tell us how it all began.
Well, it was a long time ago. I remember being I was probably, I don't know, maybe 6 or 7. And my mom would take me to this like corner grocery store by our house, and I remember seeing, I don't know if you remember those spinning metal racks that had comics in them.
Oh yeah.
And I walked by there, and that was I just saw it. My first one was Captain America. That was the first character that I was introduced to, and then it just grew from there. I picked them up and I wasn't even reading them. I was just looking through them. I liked the art in it.
Yeah.
And then like Hulk and Iron Man. I was a big Marvel guy at first, and then I guess they got in like Superman and Batman, and I'm still a Marvel guy at heart, but I've been lately, DC's putting out some great stuff, so been getting into them a lot, especially Batman, who I guess has been a favorite of mine through the years.
Sweet.
And then in probably 2nd grade, when we had art class, the art teacher we had was very encouraging, and he would always compliment me, and say, keep working on this and that. And one parents' night, when my mom went in, she came home, and I was ready for trouble, but she said that how much my art teacher really liked my progression in art. So we just that was a bug that bit me, and putting comics and that together, of course, and just blossomed from there.
Oh, for sure.
It's always interesting to find something, a hobby you like, and then it's something that that you can do too. So I wasn't one of those that, I could read comics, but couldn't draw or anything. But luckily I was blessed to have both
Yeah.
passions. So
So that's how you got into comic books, man, and art. What do you think your first character, or do you have any of your old pieces still?
I don't have any of my old stuff, like from, when I was in like elementary school.
Yeah.
Um, I have a few pieces left from high school, but they're like buried in our closet somewhere. I don't know if they're even in one piece right now. But I do have a lot of stuff. A lot of stuff I posted on Instagram. If people go back, I was on Facebook in the beginning, but it's weird because a lot of people, they always want free drawings. I don't know if you get that a lot, but um, yeah.
Says it's backwards for y'all, but it says no, I will not draw you. So there you go.
But um, just for it was constantly, can you draw this for me? Can you draw that for me? But I will say one time, I don't know if you remember when uh, Japan had that big like earthquake and tsunami,
Yeah.
and it like a gentleman did contact me about he was doing an anthology, and if I would be willing to contribute like a short story, he wanted to do like fables of Japan,
Oh.
and I was up for it because like I don't have a lot of money, so at least I could contribute some of my art skills to it. And he did print it. I think that was back around, I want to say that was in the mid 2000s maybe. I can't remember for sure, but
Well,
I
it
know
wasn't that Fukushima stuff, right?
it was when like that tsunami hit like
Yeah.
the radioactive plant and
Oh yeah, Fukushima.
did all that damage and everything. And his, I don't know if it was his wife or his girlfriend was from Japan, and he really wanted to help him out. So that was one case where it was cool, and I didn't mind, doing it. And I think it raised, if I remember correctly, I think it raised like around $5,000 or $10,000, something like that,
Oh
which
wow.
isn't a huge amount, but every little bit helps.
Yeah, for
So,
sure.
so
For sure,
I
man.
don't know if you can find them anywhere anymore. I know he had a website that he was selling them on. It was Fables for Japan, I believe it was called. But anyway, that was one case where Facebook was good, and but mostly I had a lot of that. It was people just, hey, you want to draw this and that. And it's like, really, it's like, come on.
Now, as an artist, bro, I mean, truth be known, I started in Facebook as well. And what made you transition into Instagram?
Um, I was really, my daughters basically introduced me to it because they said it was be more down my alley with, you can like get with like-minded people
Hmm.
and just like post your art. You didn't have to, how people on Facebook used to post what they were having for dinner and stuff like
Yeah.
that. And, Instagram was more that we could get together with people that liked comics or just like drawing in general. There's some people I follow that are into just painting. I'm not that great a painter myself, but I I still appreciate what they can do. I think it's amazing when people are big and really good at painting and other art forms and stuff. But that's
No,
how I got in the Instagram.
Sweet. Yeah, no, as far as your painting, I mean, you're a lot of this is done with what medium, either watercolor or marker?
A lot of my stuff is marker, pastels, colored pencil. Um, at first, it was just like paper and inking. That was basically what I did because I wanted to get into comic books.
Hmm.
And but now with finding like the toned paper, like the blue paper and the like the black like colored paper and stuff that you
Oh yeah,
find. Like I got into like that is just basically marker and
it's dope.
pastels and stuff like that. And I really been that's what a lot of my stuff is. And a few of my pieces I broke down and got into digital stuff. One of my friends, he said, you got to get out of the dinosaur age and and get into um, digital art. So I got onto Procreate and
Yeah.
started doing with that. And I think the first piece I posted was Kid Cable on my Instagram page, and that was looking back at it now. It I think, well, I could have done better, but for the first piece, I don't think it was too bad, but I've been getting into that more too, practicing with that. I'd like to get into Photoshop, so I know a friend of mine who dabbles in that, and you can do a lot more with Photoshop. So
How
hopefully
was
I can get into that.
No, for sure, man. And that Procreate, I mean, that seems to be very popular amongst the digital artists. Um, just going from traditional art to digital art. I mean, what was something that you had to work on? What's is there any advice? Because I mean, when I did it, something that I would do is it just takes some practice. You know what I mean? Getting used to.
Yeah, yeah. It's something that I had to just keep fooling with, like all the settings, because like I didn't know what certain settings did, and just by um, actually I started a few pieces and I accidentally like totally botched them up because
Oh man.
I I didn't know what I was doing. So my big advice would be to just play with it at first and get to know what uh, what things do what and what you combine them with. Like layering was really tough for me in the beginning, and till you get that figured out. Um, like for me, doing like 2 or 3 layers was like something that I did, but talking to a fellow coworker that was really good with Procreate, they had a piece where they said they did like 100+ layers, and I was like, wow. So
Wow.
that was something I have to really,
Yeah.
practice a lot more with too, and get into that more. So I know a lot of if you wanted to get into comics nowadays, that's basically all it is. Like the old school stuff, they don't really like do anymore, if you know what I mean. Like the
Yeah.
pencils and
Yeah.
then give it to the inker and all that.
Yeah. No, I know exactly what you mean. I mean, just a little bit about myself is, long story short, I wanted to do this as well, but during when I was in high school, that's when that transition happened from traditional, everything went digital. And in my head, I was like, well, if all this is going digital, it's gonna kill the newspaper, it's gonna kill the magazine, it's probably gonna kill comics books, you know. So it kind of
Right.
yeah, that was my initial thoughts as a teenager, and I'm like, it's probably gonna be a dying business, and I just just dropped it. Boy, was I wrong, you know?
Yeah. Yeah, I know.
So,
There was a time when uh, I had just stopped. I had given up myself, and I wish I wouldn't have. But at the time, it was I was at the point too where I thought, there's no way that comics will work out or anything along those lines. But then I reconnected with a friend of mine from high school, and we had tried some self-publishing back like 2005, and then that's like right afterwards, like the economy tanked, and like people weren't buying anything, and we were just trying to get into any aspect of an art career, like if it was designing logos
mhm.
or anything like that. I'd known some people in bands, and like they would want to do some art, and I realized too when I talked about like people wanting art for free, in the same breath I realized too that you got to pay your dues too.
Yeah,
So it's not all handed to you. Like when I was younger, I thought, Marvel would come look for me. Well, it doesn't work that way.
yeah, for sure. Now, you mentioned publicizing. So, how was that experience, man?
I had a lot of fun with it. My friend was he's more technical than I
Hmm.
am. He's more computer savvy. He knows like the ins and outs of it. Um, it was a lot of, we still did things kind of like the old way, old school, me and him. Like I would do it on a board, and we had these big like A3 scanners, and we
Okay.
would scan our art, and he would put everything on files, send it to the printers. Um, we would order so many copies, because I remember our first convention we did that it was in Philly. I think it was around 2008 maybe, and we were greenhorns, like newbies. We went in. We didn't know what to expect. We had taken maybe 50 books, and I was really shy about doing commissions because of drawing in front of people,
Yeah.
and like people coming up saying they want Batman fighting like one of the Ghostbusters or something. It's like, okay. And it's stuff like that. It kind of challenged me, and it made me realize, not to worry about it so much, and that it's, you know, just something to, open your arms to, really. Just, accept it and take it in and learn from it.
For
And
sure.
I know he is trying to restart it. He's working on some books that he started. If you go to, he has an Instagram page, KSS Comics. His name's Jason. He's putting some books out, trying to get another thing started, and he asked me if I wanted to do some books, and I think pretty soon here I'll be doing that with him again.
Oh, that'll be
And
cool.
yeah, I think I, like a lot of people, going through some hard times right now, and battling with some depression, and but dealing with it in a uh, positive way, going back to art. I love art, and comics, and getting back into it has really helped a lot for me personally, and being able to find that, and because depression, I know a lot of people it affects, and being able to push through that, is a big deal. So
For sure. And I want to advise to the not advise the community, but just spread the message that we all go through it. Um,
yeah,
it's something that's hitting us, especially now in these times. Where we're locked inside our own cages, and definitely reach out to the community, reach out to one another, and just have fun with this art, man. It's do what you love, and then worry the money will come later. So
yeah, yeah.
you know
And
what I mean?
I bring myself to realize now too that if I don't make it in comics, at least I'm still doing something that I enjoy and love, and even since I was a little kid, you know.
For sure.
So it's something that even if it doesn't become a profession or whatever you want to call it, for me, at least I'm still enjoying it, and it's a part of my life that will always be there.
Yeah. Now you mentioned yeah, the books with Jason. Uh, by any chance, would you still have any of those survived? Anything you worked on back then?
Um, I know I do have some copies. I don't have them readily available.
Yeah.
He still has some that I believe they're still for sale. If you want to go to his Instagram page, like I said, KSS Comics, and just message him. I'm sure he is, able to get them out to people. And
Cool.
it's always, like at the conventions, it was always fun just to talk to people. And it's, like right now, you and me talking. It's always fun just to share interests with people and talk to people about things that you love and have a passion for.
Now that's pretty cool. Conventions is something also a lot of artists aspire to do. Uh, any tips that you could give out to artists, maybe going into their first convention, something that you wish you knew before you did your first one?
Um, I would say just sit down and like kind of plan everything. Like even from like when we first went, they had I want to say it was like a 6 foot table maybe for us, and we did not think to have a banner, and so that was our real. When we looked around at other people, they all had banners, but we didn't. So even little things like that, like you're gonna miss things and forget things, but just be aware of take in everything and
Yeah.
talk to as many people as you can at the conventions, and learn from them, and then that will help you. Like I said, we realized to get a banner. We realized to put like a banner behind us, that people could see from farther away. And if you're shy, it. I was a very shy kid, but once you start talking to people about things you love and enjoy, it starts becoming easier. Um, and have your tools with you when you get to the convention, like have your, whether you do just pen and ink or watercolor or whatever you do, have that, with you, and have your phone with you for reference, because I know some people had asked me to draw obscure characters that I heard of but didn't know in my mind. I couldn't remember how to draw them, like
Yeah.
how they
Yeah.
looked, what their costume looked like. So it's a very handy tool to look up like Water Wizard and from Marvel, and to look him up. And, oh, okay, that's what he looked like, and that was kind of a shout out to one of my friends. He likes Water Wizard.
There you go.
But yeah, that's a thing that I would recommend. Try to plan it, and when you get there, just try to take everything in and learn from that.
Great tip. Great tip indeed. Now, Shawn, what's your as just in general, with work and everything, what's your daily art life like? What how do you do your art, man?
A lot of times, I know this will probably sound weird, but like, it's better for me to be in the mood to draw.
Mm,
A lot of times it'll hit you, like I might be at work, and when you get home, like it might have been a tough day at work, and you're not really uh, in the mood to draw. So I might just not think about it for that day.
mm,
And the next day, you try to maybe when you're at work, if I have like a down moment, try to think of just something I want to draw. Um, like the last Batman piece I drew was um, they've shown some clips from, I don't know if you've seen them, from the new Batman movie
yeah, for
that they were
sure.
working on. Um, they looked really cool. So yeah, that's it there. Um, it, they were kind of rough. They didn't want you to see what it fully looked like. So, like the parts on his arms where his gloves would be, they had like they almost looked like darts or small arrows that he had on his gloves. And I just kind of went with like the image they had, and I just tried to interpret it my way. And that was done with just pencil, and then I inked over it. I I should have went in. I should have took it into Procreate and colored it, because I did it there initially with just different mediums of gray markers, different shades of gray markers, and it didn't come out quite the way I wanted to, as far as the color goes, because I have, like there's a lot of markers. If you look at, I use a lot of Prismacolor markers, and a lot of them have like they'll have like 80% a gray, 60%, 70%, and I like Prismacolors because they blend well. Like I know a lot of markers, um, when you try to color something with a marker, it won't. You can see the streak marks, but Prismacolors, they blend really well. You don't see a lot of the streak marks. Yeah, like that Batman there that you're showing was just one. I was fooling around with just body positioning, and I just of course Batman came to mind, and I just drew it, then inked it, and now that one, that was Robin. I did that one. I colored on Procreate. I
Okay.
I drew it, and I was fooling with Procreate. That's when I just started playing with it, and I um, colored that one. Um, I just wanted to try to. I found with Procreate, it's nice to have that button that you can undo
Oh,
when you color something, and you like that doesn't look great. You can just undo it, and that's really nice.
oh yeah,
Um,
that's the beauty
that,
about digital art.
yeah, yeah, that's one of the things that loved about it, that the eraser part was taken away. That's your eraser right there, undo. And then you don't, tear up paper or, mess up your whole piece in general. So I've done that already, where you're drawing and inking something, and you mess up a part, and then you go to erase it. Or if you've already inked it, try whiting out, and like trying the old white out trick, and you just end up messing it all up. I remember a lot of pieces I've done that way. But Procreate with the undo is, if there's anybody out there like me that's old school and hasn't got into digital art, I suggest giving it a try. Once you play with it and get a better feel for it, it's a really good tool to use.
For sure, man. HBH Creation says your art is good, man. He loves your art, and
well, I appreciate that.
I second that.
Thank you. I appreciate it. I know we had mentioned before that I'm in Pennsylvania, and around us, art is a really tough scene. It's everybody is very me. Nobody wants to. They just see you as competition, and they think they don't want to support you because you might take their work from them.
Yeah.
Or something along those lines. And it's nice with Instagram that people are reaching out. It's like kind of a family almost. Everybody's reaching out to one another. Like you reached out to me because I wanted to do the show, and I was more than glad to do it. So I always love talking comics and art. Movies, all that kind of stuff. Because, when you can find like-minded people that are willing to speak the same language and not, try to put you down or push you aside, it's always welcome.
For sure. And I know you were talking about some of the whiteouts and stuff, so I guess that's a perfect little segue, man, to get into just one of the little segments I have here called Josh's Tool.
Mm-hmm.
So let's get into this. In this segment, dude, we go over your tools that you use, man. So
okay.
I know you mentioned that for digital art you go to the Procreate. Is there any stylus that you use in particular?
It's just basically like a pencil almost, or a pen, and it has like a little nib on the tip of it. And it's the first one I had. It was like a nib, but it was very, for lack of a better term, flexible.
Okay.
And I found it didn't quite feel right, because it seemed like you were drawing ahead of yourself almost. And the new one I have, it doesn't have that little lag behind. It's pretty much almost like you're drawing it on paper itself. And another instrument I found by accident, really, on my phone. It was just a little art program on my phone that when you're editing a picture, you can go in, and basically I just use my finger. And
there you go.
Use that for shading. And the only thing I found when I used that on the phone, I don't know if it was because of the phone itself or the program itself. Once you would get so far, it erased everything.
Oh, okay.
So I had to maybe work just a couple minutes and then save it and then go back into it. Like the one, it's the one Artman I posted. Artman. It was the one Batman I posted on Instagram that he's kind of more slender and not bulky, and he's like looking upward. That one was just done on my phone. I had learned from
And this is recent with that one, with that Batman. Is that the recent
yeah,
one of them?
yeah. That was from a guy at my comic store that I'm buddies with on his Instagram, to give him a plug. Jared.cody.wolf. Yeah, that's the one. I just did that on my phone. And he had suggested to me, he does a lot of stuff on his phone. And I first thought it was intriguing because to work so small, I thought, wow, that's, how can you do that? But once I tried it, it's a little, that again, it's another thing. It just takes a little getting used to. You have to like blow it up and
For
then,
sure.
use your finger to draw it. Then you bring it back down to the size you want. And it's kind of a learning curve that to get used to that, just like the tablet with the Procreate.
And what about the other tools for your more traditional? What are you working with here?
I've been using a lot of their woodless graphite pencils from Koinar. I found them at, I don't know if you have a Michael's around you.
Yeah.
Okay. I found them there. And like Michael's is really good with I haven't seen them in a while, but like they have coupons.
Oh yeah.
And I use them a lot for like Prismacolor sets.
Mm-hmm. Smart man.
They can be pricey.
Oh yeah.
As you may know. So like if you use 40 or 50% off, you can get like $80, set for like $40. And that's another thing. Like these, that's the woodless pencil I was talking about. I would run into pencils that, I know it sounds weird, but a lot of times just like I still will draw with them sometimes, but the lead's broken in them when you go to sharpen them, and the lead's broken. You go to draw, and the lead just either drops out or snaps.
Mm-hmm.
And as minor as it sounds, it's frustrating. So these are something that, if you like to draw, they're graphite, maybe save some trees.
There you go.
Because they don't use wood. It's just the graphite. And that's and it's something too. It's a little a piece you can put on once they're down so low. It's really hard. Like if you have big hands, it's hard to like that. It'll hold these. Yeah, well, like what you have there. Yeah. I also have one of those, and
great.
Yeah, they are. I pretty much I don't want to say forsaken wooden pencils, but I use like what you were showing, like a technical pencil and these woodless pencils for like drawing. I still, at heart, I'm a penciler.
Yeah. Awesome,
so,
dude.
When you're a kid, that's all you have is pencils and crayons.
For sure.
But crayoning as you get older is not the best medium to work with.
There you go. I mean, besides the Batman, what's one of your other favorite characters to draw?
I really dig Wolverine. I did one of him recently. That was just that was all inked, pencil ink and pastels.
Oh man.
Yeah, that one. Although at first I wasn't going to do like all that hair on his arms and chest, but once I started, I was like, oh, okay, I have to finish it now. So I just kept going, and I was happy with the final product.
No, it
'Cause,
definitely came out sick.
oh, I appreciate that. Um, it was one of those things where it initially wasn't what I was planning, but it came out, a finished way that I was happy with it. And now I have to get back into Procreate. I've taken a break from it, so
There
I
you
have to
go.
start getting back into that.
Now, as an artist, I think I had, if you know Othel One, I had him on a few weeks ago, um, and we had a crazy conversation, and we got into the subject of like referencing when you're
Yeah,
drawing.
yeah, I
Uh,
remember
when
that.
when you draw, is all this stuff from imagination, or is this reference as well?
Both actually.
Okay.
Some is just like the Wolverine was just off the top of my head. Um, the that one Batman you showed, um, or no, I'm sorry, the you were showing the Black Panther,
Okay. Yeah.
and that was the the actor's name. I can't think of his name right now, but I was looking up reference
What's
of
his face?
him. Yeah, that's the one. I can't remember his name. My
Ah,
apologies.
that's all
Um,
good.
I am horrible with names, I have to tell you. Um, uh, but I did look up reference for him to try and get it as close as possible because I wanted to. That was actually a commission piece. One of my wife's friends, uh, she was really into Black Panther, and she asked if I would do that. And I didn't want to do just a generic face. I wanted to try and draw it as close as I could anyway to the
Yeah.
actor in the movie. The position, the pose that he's in there too. I referenced. I looked at some movie pics, and I referenced that image. Sometimes I might reference an image just for the position because sometimes it's hard to like you want to see the image in your head, but like when there's foreshortening or if they're like say they're like Superman
Hmm.
flying, you might only see part of the leg and not even his other leg, but you're for me anyway, the mind wants to see it.
Yeah.
So I'll look at a reference of from like a Superman movie or maybe just gymnastics is a really good if you want to look up reference um, to get body positions because you can find some really neat reference where they don't, you know,
Yeah.
what
No,
you
I get
what
it.
you normally see. You know what I mean?
Yeah, we get
And
it.
that's one thing. Yeah, I don't see a problem with reference, uh, or like if you can do it from the top of your head. So like I'm a fan of both. I can go either way on that one.
Now, do you? Oh, and Chadwick Boseman. That was Black Panther, the actor.
That yes, thank you, sir. Thank you.
Chadwick Boseman. Boseman.
Okay, yeah,
Yeah.
he had played the part really great. I mean,
Yeah. Yeah. He
he did
did a
an
great,
awesome job.
great Black Panther for sure.
Yeah, that was a really good movie.
Uh, Sean, man, when you're not drawing, what else are you doing, brother?
let's see, watching some movies. I have to get caught up on some movies since we have this downtime. There's some movies I have to get caught up on. Like I have not yet, or I have yet to see Captain Marvel. I have not
What?
seen that.
Oh
Yeah, I
man.
have not seen it.
Yeah, that's a good one. You
um,
like it. Entertaining.
okay. And I really wanted to see it because they said it kind of led up to um, Endgame,
Mm,
sort of. Yeah, okay. but
yeah.
uh, but that's one that I still have to see. Um, uh,
You also play guitar, you told me.
yes, music. I try to pick up guitar when I can. But like when I have a artist block, I call it. I don't know if you ever get them.
Oh yeah, all the
Um,
time.
sometimes I'll either listen to music or pick up the guitar and just strum some chords, or just kind of noodle around on it. And
I'm afraid I have to put you on the spot, man. You're gonna have to play a
okay,
little something for us
okay,
here.
all right. Remember, I am not. I
Paid
am. I
professional.
am a better artist than I am a guitar player. Um, I have
Electric, huh?
mostly, yeah, yeah. I don't know if you can see
Yeah,
it
yeah.
there. Um, I have uh, that's another thing. Once I was introduced to when I in the '70s, when growing up.
Yeah.
My dad was into country, like old school country, but my mom was into Elvis and more like rock oriented things, I guess you could say. And
Yeah.
so I have a wide variety of musical taste.
That's
Um,
pretty dope.
but I'll play a little something for you here just to show you how bad I am at guitar.
There you go. Let's get it.
Can you hear that all right?
Oh yeah.
Okay, okay.
Woo!
That was a little bit of, thank you, thank you. I know that
Well,
was
wait,
horrible.
wait till you see the playback, man. I was over here like, yeah.
That was a little bit of the Ramones, Blitzkrieg Bop. I don't know if you're into punk at all.
Yeah,
Um,
yeah, I
I,
like it.
I kind of butchered it. Anyone that's a Ramones fan will tell me I just completely butchered it right there. But uh, I'm in a punk rock mood right now. I've been
There
listening
you
to a
go.
lot of punk rock because a lot of it's fun to play because it's just like power chords. It's just a lot of and stuff like that. And so it's not like if you're familiar with a lot of really technical guitar players, that stuff is like insane to play. And I'm not quite at that level yet. Um, like for me, like that got me into guitar playing was like Eddie Van Halen. I
Okay.
listened to a lot of that growing up. I'm a kind of a '70s and '80s child. A lot of uh, metal, um, punk rock, but like I said, the gambit runs from like old school country to rap. I like um, Eminem, um, Public Enemy. Love Public Enemy. Um, uh, just a lot of stuff. And
Yeah, for sure.
when I have an art block, just going over and just playing, just even if it's, you know, just
A few chords.
yeah, just some rhythms or just playing around on it. Just kind of takes your mind off of, you know, maybe something that might be bothering you, or to bring out those creative juices, get you going.
Oh yes, that's exactly what we need to do. You know, for the artist block, man, and that's really, I mean, that's common among anybody with any type of line of work. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
But
yeah,
it's always good to, you know, just have those options and know how to escape those labyrinths.
yeah.
Um, as far as your art goes, do you do commissions? Do you take commissions?
Oh, yeah, yeah. Anytime anybody wants a piece, I'm always, you know, the last, I haven't had any in a while.
Okay.
I guess the last ones I did, there was a fellow I work with, he wanted 3 pieces, so that was, kept me busy for a while. It was if you get my page, it was the Spider-Man Hulk team up. It was I think it was Thor, Daredevil, and the Black Panther, Hawkeye.
Oh, okay. Yeah. For sure.
Yeah, those 3. They were the Hulk and Spider-Man were his son's favorite characters, and the other 2 were the Thor and Daredevil was for him, and the Black Panther and Hawkeye was for his one friend. So that is probably. I mean, I'm kind of working on one now. I did the art for it. Nothing is posted for it. Another comic store I go to, the gentleman plays in a band, a funk fusion band, and he wanted to make a brochure for his band, and he had asked me to draw them, but in not a cartoony style, but he said like almost in like a comic book style. So I drew them in a comic book style, and I think my buddy's Jason, that's more with Photoshop. He is putting them all together and resizing them so that they all are the same size and all fit together. Yeah, that was a character from a story I wanted to do. I don't know if Jason wants to maybe do that under maybe his umbrella, call it, of comics.
There you go.
A lot of them. I'll get ideas for books, and yeah, that was a commission piece there at a convention, actually. She wanted a Joker and Harley Quinn, and that's always fun too. That Black Widow. Oh, sorry. That Black Widow beside it was probably the first female picture that I drew that I actually liked. Like, I had, for some reason or another, I had a extremely hard time getting female anatomy correct. And that again, where reference came in handy. Just getting to know, I think reference can be a very good tool as long as you're, not using it to take someone else's work or anything like that. Like if you're trying to draw Superman and pass it off as you did it, or, you know, something like that. But I think references, like the Stan Lee there, I looked at reference, because when he passed away, you know, that was like a shock. That was like, you know, one of those, you know, running into a wall kind of moments that, you know, growing up. Stan Lee, another influence, John Byrne. I don't know if anybody would be familiar with him. He worked for Marvel for a long time. They were big influences on me. And like probably John Byrne, like when I was a kid, I just tried drawing in his style. I wasn't trying to copy it and say, look what I drew. I was just drawing it and saying, you know, hey, this is, you know, this is someone I admire. And I remember meeting when I was a kid at our first comic shop we had here in Lancaster. I don't know if anybody remembers First Comic.
No, I don't remember that.
Don't remember that one. The title of the book was Grimjack. It was by Tim Truman and Chuck Dixon. I met Tim there, and he was very gracious back then. And he had told me that was a big way to advance yourself, just looking at things, looking at buildings, looking at cars, and following, looking at other people's styles, and trying to build your own style, basically, from that, much like guitar playing too. Like they say to learn from other people, but then like develop your own style from that. So again, back to your question about referencing and all that. I think it's, you know, it's fine. I don't see a problem with it.
Cool. Now we're down to the last couple minutes here.
Oh my!
Yeah, it went by quick, right?
Yeah,
for sure, man. Yeah. And like you know, like I always tell all my guests, you know, it's you guys always have an open door to come back. If you guys like the experience, well, you know, we definitely have fun, and you know, just honored to meet you and every single one that artist that comes on here. So
yeah, I'm always Joe Tasman is a fan and a guest. I will, you know,
thank you.
Give me a shout out, and I'll be there. I always follow your page, and I like your artwork too.
Thank you. And just last minute, man. I think I recommend these to all artists, man.
Okay, is that something you can get at like the post office?
Yeah. You could go to USPS.com, United States Post Office.com, and if you go and order them, you guys could get some for free. You know, you don't pay anything; They ship them straight to your house. And I think these are fun, man, for every artist to get into. They're quick. You can carry them in your pocket. The doodle on the go, man. Okay,
that's cool. Yeah, because I sometimes would, you know, when you're out and about, you want to, you get an idea, you want to draw something, or, you know, that would be nice for just to carry around with you.
For sure, man. Well, last down to the last minute, man. You know, contact me after the show whenever you're ready. If you are interested in that, and I'll guide you through the steps and how to do it. Okay. And that's it, man. Shawn, thank you again. That's been the show.
Yes, thank you, sir.
Nah, not a problem. Thank you for coming. Appreciate it.
Yep, you bet. Anytime.
Everybody, thank you. Everybody who's joined us today, thank you guys for tuning in. It's Shawn Wagner, and you guys can find him at Shawn_draws_ Link is up in the stories. It's pinned down right there at the bottom of the